What is good, everybody? I mean, it's the first vlog in a minute, I feel like. As you can tell, I mean, I don't know if you guys can see. Well, now you can see. It's snow. It's winter. There's snow out here. Winter is in full force, man. It's crazy. It's not even Thanksgiving yet. I feel like this is the most snow we've had this time of year in a very long time, in multiple seasons. So I figured I'd do like what I usually do when it's like the first like real snow on the ground and go on my usual hike. I mean, I feel like if you guys go back through my channel, like I feel like I do this like little walk. It's not even a hike. I do this walk every year because this is Lindley Park. It's not like they can see me in my bright red hoodie over here. What those dudes are doing over there, shoveling snow. So what those guys are doing over there, like shoveling snow, they're setting up a rail. Well, they're setting up a bunch of things over there, probably a few rails, but there is a rail over there, and that's probably going to be like my main like form of snowboarding this season. So a few things have happened, and I mentioned in a couple of videos ago that I was gonna like be talking about some changes and stuff that's happening, not necessarily in the channel, but in my life. This is gonna be the first winter where I'm not really snowboarding that much. Probably really like barely even at all, honestly. Aside from what I told you I was gonna be doing snowboarding down over there. I'm probably gonna get like a couple day tickets at like Bridger and stuff like that because Big Sky is way too expensive. I'm not gonna be dropping like $200 to go snowboarding. But yeah, that's gonna be it. And the reason being, well, honestly, there's a few reasons. I'm making some changes in my life personally, trying to work on some things, getting like a new career going, getting my life on the right track financially, and just kind of leveling myself up. And as much as I love snowboarding, as much as it's a huge passion of mine, it's a huge expense and a huge liability at this point. And I'm not encouraging anybody to give up on their passions. I'm not saying that I'm never doing anything for the money. It's just, it is something of concern right now. So I definitely need to change that up a little bit. Whew. I'm trying not to like have it just be on me, but I don't want to hold my arm up. But also, I'm out of breath already. Another big change and a big reason for why this is happening is this is actually like the first real announcement I'm making of it on social media. Is I got dropped. Well, in my words, I got dropped by my sponsors. A good majority of them. Some of them just kind of faded out in existence, but the main one was Gilson, the snowboard company I was sponsored by. I don't know. It's weird to explain, and it's kind of hard to get into right at this minute, but the way they explained things to me kind of just made it seem like they wanted to use me for my following that I have on Instagram, and essentially I'd be getting nothing in return. I'm not considered an athlete on their page, not considered an athlete at all by Gilson anymore. So I stopped getting a free snowboard, which was like one of the main things for being an athlete on Gilson, was a snowboard every season to rep the new model each season. So that's not happening. I mean, that's no big deal, but like if I'm going to be producing content and doing stuff as like an affiliate of the company and they want to use that, then I feel like something should be given in return, you know? So I kind of took that as a soft ass way of telling me they were letting me go. So yeah, not to kind of out myself right now on social media because I haven't really made any statement about it. Yeah, so I'm going into this season without any real support from companies, so it's kind of different. So yeah, that's the first season in like a few years without really having any like support. I mean, Mountain Vibes is still there. I still got them, but it's going to be tough trying to make snowboarding happen this year. But I wanted to update you guys, so. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's cold as hell out here. Deadass, like I don't know how many times I've showed you all that skyline before. I'm freezing. Oh my god. Alright, what is good? So just kind of getting back. Well, actually got back a while ago, but had to make a little run to Walmart. Now, I don't know how much more I want to film like Walmart runs, honestly, man, because damn, this thing's not focusing. Autofocus on, all of that. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know how much more I really want to film like Walmart runs because, oh no, it's weird. I've been carrying a big camera around with me to film, so kind of just like skipping that for now. But I had to pick up some gear. My hours don't work with the Bobcat bookstore hours, so I had to run the Walmart to get some gear. Got a Bobcat hoodie ready for next weekend, and it's also a part of the announcement that's going to be made. Well, it's not really too much of an announcement, but what's going to be talked about in my next video is the reason why I'm picking up some more gear, and also some Bozeman Hawks gear. Now the reason for that is I'm going to go with a couple buddies, or we're going to try to. We don't have tickets yet, but Bozeman High football is playing in the state championship in Helena against Helena Capital, who I think is undefeated, been undefeated the entire season. And Bozeman High is where I went to school. I played football there. So did one of my buddies who's going. And we're going to throw on the letter jackets. You know, back at '06, man. Like, aging myself right there. We're going to throw the letter jackets on with that. And hopefully show up for a Hawk win, you know what I mean? And then the next day, which is a big day, hoping there's another win. So I don't have tickets for that game yet, but there's a reason why I'm going to be on campus. It's not going to be discussed in this video. Alright, that's just the best angle I'm just going to have to get, because I don't want to put my camera on a tripod right now. Move some shit out of the way. I don't know what y'all can see and what you can't see. I know what I can see in the viewfinder, but I'm not sure if that's what y'all can see. Anyways, I just wanted to expand a little bit more on kind of what I was talking about earlier. I mean, essentially about kind of getting, about getting dropped from my sponsors. I guess it is kind of getting dropped from my sponsors. That's kind of my words for it, more than anything else. But I don't know. I'll kind of put a lot of things into perspective. I mean, I saw it coming before it happened, to be honest with you. Anybody who knows me and was talking to me, like, heard me mention that I had feelings that was going to happen. I've been underperforming the last few seasons, and honestly, it's just been because there has been a lot on my mind about what I want out of snowboarding and where I was wanting to take it. You know, I never got into the sport to make money off of it. I never got into it to like sit there and like be like super famous, you know, to go off and, you know, X Games, all that stuff like that, and I was never even close as far as talent went anyways. But you know, I just wanted to be sponsored. Like about 6 or 7 years ago when I was in Portland, I went out there for Mount Hood. That's really when I decided, I'm like, you know, I want to pursue trying to get sponsored. I want to get a board sponsor. I wanted to get that free snowboard every season. That was the goal, you know. And you know, I came back to Bozeman that next winter, or the end of that winter, and then the whole next winter and like the next couple seasons, I made it my goal to like bust my ass out there and try to get sponsored. I will never ever say that I'm like an amazing snowboarder, that I'm like doing all these crazy things on the mountain. And if you follow my channel and been watching any of my videos, you'll know that's true. I mean, I'm not that like great. I'm not like some amazing park rider. I'm no Casey Willax from C Vlogs either. I mean, that guy shreds, dude. You know, nonetheless, man, I love the sport. I'm basically saying all of this to kind of give this like little like pretext here, because I put so many, like, pretty much all my eggs into this basket of being a professional snowboarder, to the point where I literally like let it define me. You know, for a while there, like, that's pretty much like what I say I'm a snowboarder. If you looked at my Instagram, it was athlete page, you know, pretty much dedicated to anything and everything snowboarding. I was following a whole bunch of snowboarders, a whole bunch of brands, ski resorts, all of that stuff, you know, and literally let that become my identity. And to the point where, like, I remember even thinking a few years ago, I'm like, what if my sponsors drop me? Like, what if I just like had that phone call at the end of this season and they're just like, yeah, you know, we're not going to renew your contract next season. And, you know, I thought about that a lot. And if this would have happened like years ago, dude, it would have absolutely devastated me. It would have completely floored me. I wouldn't have known what to think. It just really would have like completely like flipped my world upside down. And it's crazy because I didn't even have like any type of major level sponsorship. I was just at a sponsorship level where I was getting a free snowboard every year. We were going on team trips. You know, that was just my board sponsor. I had like a goggle sponsor, glove sponsor, apparel sponsor, but like there was nothing, like there was no pro thing attached to it. There's no payments, which is fine. Like I said, I didn't get into it for the money. The past couple seasons, pretty much like the last two, which I guess it's exactly what a couple is now, isn't it, Brian? Past couple seasons, you know, I've been pretty much like having hang-ups, been thinking a lot about it, and I've taken injuries like anybody else has in this sport, and I'm sitting here realizing that I have an injury that's really never going to get better. It's never going to be 100% again. I'm at that age too. I was going to be going into this season at 35 years old, so it's just a lot of things I was starting to take into consideration. And though I never got into it for money, snowboarding wasn't paying my bills. As a matter of fact, it costs a lot of money, even with sponsorships. You know, I'm not trying to knock the sport, man. I know just even by saying that, man, people are going to be like, oh, if you don't love it, blah, 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 it's fine or whatever. If you really loved it, you pay for it. Yeah, I get it. I get it, guys. It's just like, I really started to take a lot of things into consideration, and this is really when I started to, like, ask myself what I really wanted to do with my life. Did I want to just kind of like, you know, make ends meet and be a sponsored snowboarder and just do that every winter just till I am gray? You know, I already got gray in the beard, man. Like, how much longer can I do it? And this past couple seasons I've really been thinking, and mostly the second half of this last season is really when I've had this huge turnover mentally, and, you know, started really focusing on chasing a career, getting my life on the right track to the point where I can start earning a lot and, you know, eventually get my life set up the way I wanted it to, you know. And basically what I learned from this whole entire thing is, and it's actually not just the whole sponsorship thing, it was last season, as you guys know from previous videos, last season started pretty much with me getting out of a hectic relationship, and it put a lot of things into perspective too, and it kind of made me realize that, like, I can't sit there and put my happiness into the hands of anybody else, whether it be my sponsors, whether it be a partner right now at least, you know, whether it be like anything like that. It's just like, at the end of the day, man, and like I hate looking at it like this, but it's like we are responsible for our own happiness. And that's not, I wasn't trying to make this like into like a whole lecture of that sort, but it kind of is, you know. It's kind of like a lot of things that I've really learned is like nobody is responsible for our own happiness except for us. Nobody's going to make us feel that way except for us. They can do things, they can help like bring us things into our life, but like unless that means something to us, it's not gonna bring us the happiness that we're wanting, you know. And it's crazy because something that I'd worked for so long, which was to be a sponsored snowboarder, wasn't bringing me that happiness anymore. And it was crazy. I was afraid of that. I'd watched it happen to a buddy of mine, much younger, but probably one of the most amazing skiers I'd ever seen, was sponsored by the same company, and just kind of like, when he was dropped by them, he really didn't even ski anymore. You know, it's kind of like, it's just one of those things where I feel like we kind of burn ourselves out, you know. And that's why I always like try to tell myself, I was even trying to tell old teammates, I'm like, you know, I try to do as many different things as I possibly can. That's why I started a YouTube channel. I tried to look for like happiness and hobbies and enjoyment from all these other outlets. So, you know, I'd always have some kind of way to, you know, enjoy myself and do something, create, essentially, you know. But that's like a long-winded way of really me trying to be like, hey man, like we are responsible for our own happiness. Because like I was saying, I put so many things into perspective, because if this would have happened like a year or two ago, like it would have been a completely different mindset, you know. I would have had an entirely different reaction, you know. And it's like, I feel like as much as I never really believed things happen for a reason, like this whole chain of events, I mean, like, it almost feel like they do, you know. It's just like everything kind of fell into place. There's still some big plans that I'm trying to do with my life that I haven't really announced yet, and I'm not really going to announce until, like I've said in previous videos, till the wheels are already in motion. And you know, it's just like I said, everything is kind of working out for the best. So it's, as many people said, and when I was telling them, when I hit them up kind of upset, you know, that I was being dropped by my sponsors, it's like, these age-old platitudes and sayings and idioms that we've been hearing our entire life, I mean, that they ring so true for a reason. And one of these is like, when one door closes, another one opens. And that's how I kind of feel like this, you know. And that's why, like, you know, if you are going through breakups or anything like that, because it almost felt like a breakup, you know, getting like, when you're in, like, if you're in a band that breaks up, you know, getting dropped from a team or something like that, it almost, or just actually getting in a relationship that ends, it actually kind of felt like, you know, like I'm getting dumped here, you know. So it's like, it's just, learn to see it as an opportunity for growth. and that's exactly what I saw. The only downside is, like I said in an earlier video, is I would still just like to snowboard, even just for fun, and I'm gonna have to find other ways to do it this season aside from having a season pass, but I'm totally cool with that. It's gonna be completely different, and we're just gonna see how it goes. But I kind of want to do more of these kind of videos, and people have been like slamming them in the past. They're like, nah man, keep it positive, keep it fun and lighthearted, which I do plan on doing, you know. I have plenty of those types of videos, but in the meantime, kind of want to do some of these. So talk about some things, open up, and let's get the thoughts rolling. But thank you for tuning into this. I'm not even sure how many people sat through all that, but if you did, smash that like, let me know you enjoyed it. I'd really appreciate it. It also helps me out, makes me feel confident. Fuck the video going in the rotation, just makes me feel good. I appreciate it. But yeah guys, till next time, I'm out, peace.
I filled up my life.